to make this golden log text. First thing, we're going to create a new document, and I'm using Full HD. Use these settings. Press create, and now we will write our text. I will write golden, and I'm using this bevel text. You can use any text. I will make sure that the layer is in the middle, and then I'm going to select it and Command J or Control J to duplicate it. We will rename this main bevel, and then double click on it to bring the layer styles. You are going to enable the stroke. We need the color, not the gradient. Change it to the color and change color to this one. Use this code. Okay, and then you're going to the bevel, enable the bevel. I'm going to reset the settings, and then I will press Command and plus to zoom in the text so I see the changes. And now we can change it to the stroke emboss. We are only affecting the stroke now, and the depth can be 100 or something around it. Direction will be up, and the size will be 9. Then you are going to the counter and choose the third one in the second row. For the highlight and the shadows, make the highlight 70. And the shadow 65 is good. I'm going back to the stroke and I'm going to increase it to 11. I'm just experimenting to see what will change, but I think I'll keep it as it is. And now we are done with this main bevel. So what I do and recommend to you, I don't apply all of the effects to one layer. I will add some effect to this layer and then duplicate and add another effect to the other layer. Like this, you will get some really nice effects. So now I just duplicated this one, and now you will add the highlights. Double click to bring the layer style. I'll go to the stroke and change it to the 5. And bring down the opacity. We don't want the stroke itself, we just need the bevel emboss. So only bevel emboss will be visible here. Increase this to 340. And then you're going to increase the size. I think 21 will be good. Just experiment and see what will work for you, but for me 21 is good. Soften, I will keep it at 0. And angle direction, you can just play with it and see what will look good for you. I think I'll keep it at 90 by 30. Let's change it again. And then you are going to bring down the shadows. Because you are working with the highlights, we don't need it. Bring down the opacity for the shadows. And then go to the highlight blending mode, make it color dodge. This will make it more bright. And then bring the opacity to 70. Direction will be up, keep it like that. Make the opacity for the highlight 79, and then we are going to the gloss counter and choose the first one in the second row. Then bring the opacity down for the highlight to 61. Press OK. And now you will duplicate this, Command J, rename it shadow. So you'll use this layer just for shadow. Double click on it to bring the layer styles. We are going to the stroke, increase the size for the stroke to 50 or 60. Okay, it's good like this. Then go to the bevel emboss and we are going to make some changes here. Let's first thing bring down the highlights and increase the shadows. Here we have a problem. We need to go to the stroke and make the position to inside. It's outside now, make it inside. And now we have the inside shadow. Then go to the bevel emboss and you will see what we are going to change. Yeah, make it 303. The size, make it 80. I think you don't have to change this, just play with it and see what will work for you, but something around 20 will be good. For the shadow, I think 53 will be good, the opacity. The size 10 is good. And the glass counter, let's see what will change here. I think we will keep it the same. The first one in the second row, keep it that one, this one. Press OK. Perfect. Now it looks nice, but there are other stuff that you need to do. Command J to duplicate it. You'll just enhance the shadows a bit. Name it enhance shadow or anything that you want. Now double click on it. You will remove the stroke actually. Let's disable it. And go to the Bevel Emboss. Change it to the inner emboss. And let's change this. I'm just going to play with all of these settings to see what will work the best for me, and then at the end you can just copy my settings. Or if you want, you can just follow me and change everything accordingly. Okay, I will change this to 90-30 again, but I forgot to select the use global light. Now change it to 90-30. Okay, now if you disable it, we can play with the light for this layer only. When the global light is open, it will play with everything. I'll keep it like this. It's good now. We will go to the first layer, the first text, and you're going to play with the layer styles and add some nice effects. But there's something I forgot. The fill, I don't want the fill for any of the layer, instead the first one. So I'm going to double click on each of them, go to the blending mode and bring the fill opacity down. We did it for the highlight, for the shadow. And now enhance shadow. Okay, and this one, the main bevel, bring it down. Now you only have one, which is this one, and this is what we need. I will double click on it to change the color, trying to get the color similar to the borders. This is just for, I'm testing it, maybe I will change it later. Now double click here to bring the layer style, enable the pattern, and let's test and see what will look nice on it. The scale 81 is good. Let's try some other patterns. I think the first one was the best. Now let's go back to the first one. Okay, 53 is good. Change it to the overlay. Actually make it multiply again. Press OK, and I'm going to change the color to something darker. I didn't like the yellow one. Something like this is good. Yeah, it looks nice. Now let's add the darker background. I'm just using the shape layer. Bring it down. Just move it. Okay, double click here and change it to something darker. And now you're going to add some of the depth to the text, but before that I'm going to group all of the stuff, all of the layers. Select all of them, Command G to group it, and then Command J to duplicate it, right click, convert it to the smart object. Now Command and click on it to make a selection around the text. The next thing we are going to make an empty layer, and then I will press Command and delete. It will fill with the background color, which is this one. Bring it down. Sorry, I put it in the group. And now Command T to bring the selection settings. Make sure it is connected and write 99.9. And now press and hold on the Command, Alt or Option and Shift together, and then press T to make the extrude like this. I think it's good like this. Now let's go to the layer style, double click on it, and you're going to enable the stroke. Make it smaller. I'm just trying to see if it will work with this one. If it doesn't, we are going to go with the color overlay. Enable the bevel and emboss, make it stroke emboss. And I'm going to make some changes. I just disable the stroke. Well, I don't think the stroke works here. We are going to go to the overlay. Yes, it doesn't work. Let's disable the stroke and enable the color overlay. Disable the stroke, go to the color overlay and use this color code. Now go to the Bevel Emboss, make it emboss, and we are going to change these settings. Just follow me and copy the final settings that I'm going to add. By the way, I changed the style to the inner bevel again. The depth is 448. Maybe I will change it later. I'm just trying to see what will work. The gloss counter, let's see what will work here. The second one in the second row is good. Now we can stop the video and copy these settings. Press OK. OK, now you will combine the extrude and the text together. Select both of them and convert it to the smart object. Perfect. The last thing we are going to do is to create a new layer, and we are going to paint on the text to make it look nicer. Let's change the settings of the brush. By the way guys, if the caps lock is pressed, the brush will be only plus. Okay, let's clip mask this one. Press Alt and click on it, and let's change the color, something oranges, and we can paint on it like this. Let's change the blending mode. Overlay is good, and now paint on your text. By the way, you can play with the painting. I mean, you can use this technique to change the look completely. I'll just paint all over it. The opacity of the brush is 14 and flow is 92. Like this is good. If you want to remove some of it, you can just make a mask on this layer. I'll make this white, but actually we're going to use black to remove it. And then you can remove from wherever you want. This is just an extra step. You can take your time and remove the places that you don't want the painting. Yes guys, that's all for this lesson. Hope you enjoyed and learned something new. I will see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.